I think he's more in tune. Like he's a student of the sport. Like he's in tune. Like well, obviously what him, but I think he's really his strongest part is the knowledge of like the guys around him. And I say that because I feel like the difference between a 250 and 450. I think the 450 is actually made what he does good on 250. Like it's a lot easier for him to do it. And I've spoken to him and asked him, like he feels the same way. He feels like it's more comfortable. So how he rides a motorcycle, I would say kind of like the 2-stroke and 4-stroke for you. Like you look like a different rider on the 2-stroke. I watched you in 03 and I'm like, damn, dude, like I got to go up against that. And then it just seemed like the 450, like it took you a little bit. It was a different riding style. So
it was a tough transition.
Yeah. So I feel like that's been that transition with Jett to where, I'll be honest with you, I don't think he would be undefeated in the 250 class this year. Like, I don't think he would beat Hunter 22 times in a row. And he wasn't even as dominant earlier this year in the 250 class in Supercross. So I believe we watched a kid come in, was able to win that first race. Chase went out. That was his biggest competition. And, like, he's been able to learn how to race. Roxon was a threat, but he was preparing himself to when Chase got back. He was already built that race pace up, and then he elevated his game when Chase got there. And then as Chase got better, he was able to get better because he's just that talented. But I think he's really just, again, a student of the sport because it's not like he goes fast in the beginning part of the race. I think what he does well is that he knows I just need to be in front of Chase. And you can see him, like, if he doesn't get the start, there's certain people he'll pass really quick. Like, he does that to Chase. I don't think he wants to have to pick up that pace, that weakness that probably was in the 250 class of being able to drop the hammer. I believe that's still there. But what he's doing is stopping Chase from being able to run away so he doesn't have to, like, pick up that pace and ride at that. Because if you watch Jett, like, all his lap times, like, the fastest part of his race isn't, like, the first couple laps. It's like lap 4, 5, 6. Then that's when he'll pick it up. So it looks like he has a burst of speed, gets in front of Chase because he'll follow Aaron for a little bit or somebody else. But Chase, he knows if Chase gets out, he can run, and then he has to go chase him. So I think he gets in front of him, then slows down, warms up, and then at that point, then he starts kicking into gear. But I just been more impressed of every time that this weekend Chase lined up next to him on the start. Dude, straight up, best start of the year. Just whole shot. Chase is still sitting on the gate, people. I think he's still sitting there, and I've been saying it on the show is that he's doing a good job at putting Chase and making Chase be on the defense in a sense.
He broke Chase, I think.
Yeah.
Like
he broke him this weekend.
I think he totally broke him. And I think you have to go back to the start. And the fact that I was there this weekend, I was able to kind of take in the whole weekend. And it's like Chase came out, I feel, with a mindset of like, this is it, right? Like, we're going to get it done this weekend. Yeah. And you could tell in the first practice, he kind of always had the upper hand on Jett. I wasn't in the pits during the practices, so I don't know what changes Jett made. But watching the 251 kind of gives you a good understanding of like how the 451 is going to go. They were 2 seconds off of their times. So we're kind of like, ooh, the lap time's not going to be there in the second one. Damn, were we wrong? Like, I think that was that was the strongest Jett that I seen. He went out there and straight flexed on Chase and laid down a 46, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe from my memory is that Chase had kind of gone out and I think he did a 48 and then maybe he got into the 47s. Yeah. And at that minute, it was like, wow. Yeah. That time was not expected. And Jett just went out and just straight flexed at a 46. Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow. That's. Yeah. And it brings back the memories, right? Like, it's hard to not bring those memories back of just us flexing. And I call it the stretching competition. I can't say the word, but, it was like, that was it. You're just out there stretching it and trying to feel like you're just like, I'm the guy. Yeah. And man, those days are fun. Let's be honest.
They were fun. I mean, I was talking about this a few weeks ago. There was a Daytona one where you were like a second faster, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I went back and motorhome went to sleep because I was like, this is a dream. Like, this ain't right. So Yeah, I do believe this weekend, as I said earlier, it was the best I've seen Jett ride the 450. Like we've been talking about like Chase has been faster in a lot of spots, but a lot of races, but Chase, by being faster, he just makes more mistakes, blah, blah, blah. It's hard for him to put it together. But this weekend, at no point did I say, I think he's going to catch him. Like Chase is faster.